Shalom. I want to point out this article that I came across and some information regarding Kanye's experience with J.P. Morgan cutting ties and closing his accounts. Kanye's been in the news a lot lately, but I'm not speaking about his comments or anything that he made. I'm speaking about what surrounds Kanye, and I want to point out this decision that was made to shut down Kanye's accounts by J.P. Morgan. So this article points out J.P. Morgan, Kanye, and his recent controversies. And the closing of Kanye's account by J.P. Morgan is what's interesting to me. Let me look for this. It says that, okay, he wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt. Just trying to point out the accusations. Okay. Okay. West responded. He said, hey, if you call somebody out for bad business, that means you're being anti-Semitic. So his comments, and here we go right here. Kanye West's Twitter and Instagram accounts were also temporarily locked. In response to the social media restrictions, West then appeared on Fox Tucker Carlson show, where portions of the interview in which he made conspiratorial remarks were edited out. So they edited out his comments on an interview. They're accusing Kanye of saying things that they didn't agree with. And then he wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt. So those simple accusations from opposing parties felt that that was enough to close Kanye's accounts. So that, I want to give credit to Real Nagas pointing out the implementation of the ESG. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. Investors are increasingly applying these non-financial factors as part of their analysis process. For those who do not know what ESG is, ESG is for the investors of companies. Here it is right here. Let's go here right quick. ESG is environmental, social, and governance investing. Okay. Environmental, social, and governance investing refers to a set of standards for a company's behavior used by socially conscious investors to screen potential investments. Environmental criteria consider how a company safeguards the environment. Social criteria examines how it manages relationships with employees, suppliers, customers, and the community where it operates. Governance deals with the company's leadership, executive pay, audits, internal controls, and shareholder rights. Shareholders, and then let me type in shareholders, and then we're going to type in stakeholders. So let me just type in stakeholder capitalism. Okay, what is the stakeholder capitalism and shareholders? So this breaks it down. What is a stakeholder capitalism? Stakeholder capitalism is a system in which corporations are oriented to serve the interests of all stakeholders. Okay. Among the key stakeholders are customers, suppliers, employers, shareholders, which would be like Kanye, a local communities. Under this system, a company's purpose is to create long-term value and not to maximize profits and enhance shareholder value at the cost of other stakeholder groups. Supporters of stakeholder capitalism believe that serving the interests of all stakeholders, as opposed to only shareholders, is essential to long-term success of any business. So here we have a new idea, a new structure for assessing companies and assessing the future profits of the company and the future growth of the overall company. So different from shareholders, this is a stakeholder. So shareholders, okay, shareholder, is a person, company, or institution that owns at least one share of a company's stock or in a mutual fund. Shareholders essentially own the company, which comes with certain rights and responsibilities. Okay, so that's shareholders. Okay, we're going to go to stakeholders. Stakeholder capitalism is new. It's a new idea. Okay, stakeholder capitalism is a system in which corporations are oriented to serve the interests of all their stakeholders. Among the key stakeholders are customers, suppliers, employers, shareholders, and local companies. Okay, now I want to go back over here to ESG. ESG, okay, if we're not familiar with ESG, it's environmental, social governance. The social is what I want to focus on with this content. This video that I'm doing is concentrating on Salakia. Is concentrating on the social score. Okay, companies are able to do what Kanye was recently experiencing with J.P. Morgan. With a social credit score, companies are able to sever relationships with customers, shareholders for social reasons. And Kanye fell under this social category. China has a social credit score, if people are not familiar with this. And China banned millions of people with poor social credit from transportation in 2018. Let's read about this social credit score. China banned people from buying plane or train tickets 23 million times last year because they have poor social credit, according to Associated Press, which obtained a copy of a government report. Okay. The government rolled out the travel ban on people with poor social credit last May, according to a report from China's National Public Credit Information Center from last week. People have been blocked 17.5 million times from purchasing airplane tickets and 5.5 million times from buying high-speed train tickets. These people had become discredited for unspecified behavior crimes, like Kanye. Okay, that's up from only 6.15 million citizens being blocked from taking flights as of 2017, according to China's Supreme Court. Okay, now, a part of the system, the Chinese government also employs a public blacklist of those who have been found guilty of crimes in court and punishes them partly by limiting their ability to buy plane and train tickets. The social credit system is also supposed to help prevent annoying behavior on public transportation, such as one case where a passenger who took up another person's reserved seat and refused to get up. The video of the passenger refusing to budge went viral, with Chinese users calling for more punishment for people who act this way. Okay, now, here it is. The China government has independent policies in place to monitor individuals and punish bad behavior. Your social ranking in the government's eyes might be lowered if you evade taxes, scam other people, make fake ads, or take up extra seats on the train. Currently, when people enter China, their fingerprints are collected before they can enter the country. Citizens and foreigners alike need to present identification when passing through checkpoints or checking into hotels. And reports have shown that authorities in regions like Xinjiang, I hope I'm not messing that up, have forcibly collected biometric data to build a database for identifying individuals that defied the system. Okay, so the government in China collects data on their behaviors according to public available government documents translated here. Okay, once the files are successfully collected, the hope is that authorities will be able to search for them based on fingerprints and other biometrics. Okay, so this ESG, okay, is coming to Babylon, so-called America. Okay, Kanye just experienced the, I don't know if it's the beginning or the, I would say it's here, but it hasn't been implemented into law, but they're slowly but surely coming with it. And I mean they, meaning the Amalekites, it could be who Kanye was, ruffling, feathers he was ruffling. It could be the powers that be. Okay, they're coming with this ESG scoring system, and based on your social, comments, who you follow, things like that, it's going to affect some sort of score. There's going to be a score where people are going to have their accounts cut if the powers that be don't like who you follow on social media, things that you purchased online. It's called an ESG score. They're coming with this in America. Kanye fell victim to this before the ESG has been implemented. Cutting relationships with customers and big corporations will have this new scoring system. China, they're losing their privileges to ride trains and without notice. It seems like in certain cases because they may not understand the scoring system at first, but this is what is coming to Babylon. I want to point this out just because it's here. It's here, but it's not law yet. Or this ESG thing is new. They're calling it new online. It's a new strategy for companies to assess the future growth of their businesses and who their shareholders are, and this is what investors are going to use to determine who their shareholders are for their companies. So this social criteria, which looks at how the company treats people and concentrates on employees, working conditions, local communities. It sounds like it's not a threat, but just another great idea. But of course, we all know what great ideas turn into once they hit Babylon. This is, and again, if people don't understand what the ESG is, look at what it did. Look at how it affected Kanye's bank account. And JP Morgan says that Kanye was the richest man was the richest man to put money in their bank. Where'd it go? Yeah, right here. It says he added Kanye was the richest black man in American history to put 140 million in J.P. Morgan. So it doesn't matter how much wealth or money a person has. This ESG, this ESG is going to determine, who's a customer and who's not. I just thought this was interesting because Kanye is a millionaire, and the people were witnessing this country target customers based on their social scores and how comments in social media can negatively impact a person's business and business relationship and business ties. I mean, Babylon is already out of order. This is just another nail in a coffin for Babylon. Like I said, this is interesting. Leave a comment, share, subscribe, whatever. But I think this is already here. It's just not signed into law as far as like China. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be here soon. Look at these people who's trying to get on a train, and this guy over here, they're over here checking scores, making sure you're not trying to ride the train and you have a bad score. So it's coming. It's going to get worse and worse. China banned people from buying plane or train tickets 23 million times last year. I mean, that doesn't hurt their economy. It must be. There's going to be a new structure coming to Babylon. If 23 million doesn't hurt the economy, people having to get back and forth, there's no money being generated because people can't get back and forth. I mean, come on. What is this new system, this new world order that they're coming up with? Because if they can cut people's accounts that got, what do you have? 140 million in J.P. Morgan. I mean, come on. If they don't really care who this affects, they must have something better than, customers with money, depositing their money into the accounts. I mean, what is this new world order? Anyway, Shalom.